Good afternoon. Welcome to your Must Do RC Set series. As you know, we're running a series of reading comprehension passages with questions which, at least the type of questions that would definitely come in CAT 2024 that we expect. And the RC sets are something that you must solve to do well in CAT, right? So, if you can see me and hear me clearly, give me a thumbs up so we can start the session. All right. Today, I have chosen a passage for you from international relations. Um, just give me a second while I see the chat. All right. It's about 500 to 507 words long. I will give you a minute to read each slide, a little less than a minute, and then I'll summarize it for you. All right? Start reading now. If you can see me and hear me clearly, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I did get that. Okay. I'll give you about 45 seconds per slide. I will explain the slide and then we'll move to the next slide. All right? Any doubts, any questions? When we take the questions of RC, you please let me know and we will do it together. All right, next slide. So before we go to the next slide, the killings of Fad Shukar, a senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut, and Ismail Haniyeh, the political chief of Hamas in Tehran, within hours. So both these people were killed within hours of each other on July 30th. These have taken West Asia to the brink of a wider war. Israel has claimed that the strike on Beirut that killed Shukar, that means claim the strike means uh, taken responsibility. It has said we struck and we are responsible for the killing of Shukar, but it has neither confirmed nor denied its role in the assassination of Haniyeh. So, two people were killed, two important, one Hezbollah leader and the political chief of Hamas were killed on July 30th within hours of each other. Israel has claimed responsibility for the first, but hasn't said anything about the second. And what did the authors comment on that? Writers comment on that, a standard approach about its operations inside Iran. That means whenever it conducts any operation in Iran, this is the way it acts. It confirms some, it claims some, it keeps quiet on others. This is its standard approach. Um, Israel's northern border with Lebanon has remained tense ever since the Gaza war broke out last year with Hezbollah and Irani Israeli defense forces exchanging fire. So we know that what happened in right now the Lebanon side, there is a war on the Gaza side, and Israel and the Hezbollah fighting it out. After Shukar was killed, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said that Israel had breached a red line and the group has launched dozens of rockets over the past week, heightening the tension. So, after the killing of a senior Hezbollah commander, they have obviously Hezbollah has retaliated and has sent dozens of rockets to against Israel, targeted at Israel, and this has increased the tension between the two countries. A bigger risk is the expected Iranian retaliation. So, killed Hezbollah, the group. I said the country by mistake. Hezbollah, the group, is has retaliated by sending rockets, showering rockets on Israel. But there is another big risk. What is that? Iranian retaliation against Israel. We have to also watch out for how Iran reacts. When Israel bombarded Iran's assembly complex in Damascus on April 1st, Iran launched hundreds of drones and cruise and ballistic missiles towards Israel, most of which were shot down by a US led coalition. If Iran carried out such an attack in response to an Israeli strike on its embassy in a third country, it is unlikely to ignore a direct Israeli attack on its capital that killed an ally who was in Tehran to attend the presidential inauguration. One, Hezbollah has retaliated, but more worrying for the author, for the editor here, is that how will Iran react? When Iran has a history of conflict with Israel, and once before, when Israel had attacked Iran's embassy in Damascus, Iran had retaliated. Now, because the attack has happened in Tehran, the capital of Iran, Iran is not likely to keep quiet. All right, this is what the first para says. Let's look at what the second one says. Again, I'll give you 45 seconds to read, rephrase, and then I will explain it. Okay. All right. So, what does the author say? To be sure, by killing Haneh in Tehran, Israel has demonstrated its capabilities. It killed somebody, it killed the Hezbollah commander in, or Haneh is the senior Hamas leader, the chief of Hamas. It killed the chief of Hamas in Tehran. It's gone into Iran. Somebody was visiting Iran and it managed to kill the chief of the political chief of Hamas in Tehran. So by doing this, what has it shown? It has proved that it can pull off, it can successfully carry out sophisticated operations even in hostile territories, and it has also shown exposed Iran's security and intelligence vulnerability. It's shown that Iran's security and intelligence are susceptible. It has shown the weakness of Iran's security and intelligence setup. Israel has also sent a strong message to Hamas, which carried out the October 7th attack, that none of its leaders are safe. So the whole thing started when Hamas attacked Israel in October 7, 2023. It took a lot of hostages, Israeli hostages, and killed some. So now, according to the editor, this is Israel's message to Hamas, that you did this, none of you, none of your leaders are safe. Yet, this unchecked militarism of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could turn out to be counterproductive for Israel in the long run. Yes, Israel is known for retaliating, but this kind of unchecked aggression that it is carrying out could turn out to be counterproductive, could turn out to be disadvantageous for Israel in the long run. It's now apparent that Mr. Netanyahu is not serious about peace. The Israeli Prime Minister doesn't want peace. The killing of Haneh has come at a time when both Israel and Hamas were making progress in talks for a hostage ceasefire deal. Israel and Hamas were having a hostage ceasefire deal. And in the middle of the talks, you've taken hostages, you return the hostages, let's call a ceasefire, let's not have any more of this fighting and conflict. When these talks were going on, in the middle of the talks, the political chief of Hamas was killed. So this shows that Israel is not interested in peace in West Asia. Haneh, who was living in exile in Doha, was a relatively moderate voice within Hamas. So Hamas has people who are very aggressive. They have people with extreme outlooks, but at least this person, Haneh, was seen as a moderate who pushed for a ceasefire. By taking him out, by killing him, Mr. Netanyahu is telling the world that he wants the war to continue. This is how the editor has interpreted Israel's latest military action in killing Shukr and Haneh, the Hezbollah commander and the Hamas political chief, shows that that Israel is not interested in peace and that it wants the war to continue. By carrying out the attack in Tehran, which is a flagrant violation of Iran's sovereignty, you cannot go and kill somebody. I mean, somebody has come. A has visited B, country B. Country C can't kill A because you are his enemy. That's against international relations. That's against Iran's sovereignty, Iran's independence. And by doing that, Mr. Netanyahu has practically challenged the Islamic Republic to retaliate. He is practically goading it, saying, let's see if you retaliate. All right. If a direct war, the author is saying, if Iran really retaliates, if there is a direct war between Israel and Iran, the US could be dragged into it, which is what Israel wants. This is all the editor's opinion. He says that by doing all this, by killing two leaders on Tehran's soil, Israel is deliberately challenging and provoking Iran to start a fight with it. Because Israel is not interested in peace, Israel wants the war to continue. And US could be, if a war broke out between Israel and Iran, US would be forced to join the war. And this is what Israel wants US to be involved. The Biden administration avoided such a disastrous outcome in April by reining in, means by controlling Israel after Iran's retaliation. But that did not stop Israel from launching another provocative attack against Iran, taking the region back to the brink again. Israeli actions in April, somehow US managed to tell Israel to cool down. So things cooled down. But Israel, the present provocative attack against against Iran, Israel has taken the two countries to the brink of war, to the edge of war. Anytime war can break out, to that point it has taken them. As West Asia braces for Iran's retaliation, that means West Asia is anticipating Iran's retaliation. So it's bracing means it's getting ready. As West Asia braces for Iran's retaliation, the US and its allies should work together to make sure that the impact of its response on Israel would be minimal. The author seems pretty sure that Iran's going to retaliate. So he says, as we prepare for this Iranian retaliation, what should the US and allies do? They should work together. They should make sure that its impact on Israel is minimal, and then they should put in place new rules. But that's not enough. Israel also has to follow. Israel can't get away with what it did. So the author says it should put in place new rules for the game for Israel so that it does not threaten regional security again. On April 1st, it threatened regional security. July 30th, Israel's actions threatened regional security. Iran's retaliation and Israel's response to that retaliation may again threaten regional security. So the countries of the world should get together and make sure, US and its allies should make sure that one, Israel should be protected, right? The response, the impact on Israel should be minimum, but they should also have new rules of the game for Israel. They should not let Israel threaten regional security again. Clear? This is what the passage says. So now let's see. What is the author's primary concern? Let me quickly get your answers. Primary concern means what is the passage all about, right? The events in West Asia will result in a wider war. The West must control Israel and its leaders from overreacting to Iran. Israel's recent military actions risk escalating the conflict in West Asia, or the world has to pay for the consequences of Israel's military actions. Which one sums up the main point and the main concern of the author in the passage? Is it that there will be a wider war in West Asia? Is it that Israel must be controlled? Three, that there is a risk of escalation of war in Israel, or is it that we have to pay for Israel's military action? We are going to be punished for Israel's military action. What is the correct answer? Quickly key in your answers: A, B, C, or D. Let me see your answers quickly. Is it A, the events in West Asia will result in a wider war? The author has mentioned this, but this is not the primary concern or the main point. This is not the main concern of the author. And he has not said will result, he said there is a risk of a wider war. What has this option done? It has done there might be a war. It has changed the tone to will result. So it is not correct. The West must control Israel. US and its allies must control Israel, but not necessarily this, right? It just must make sure, yes, it's true. Again, this is a point he has mentioned, the last two lines, but not the main concern. The main concern is that there is, if Iran retaliates, what will happen is Israel is just not it doesn't want peace, it wants war. Its recent military actions show that it doesn't want peace. If Iran really rises to the challenge, then there might be a large scale, full scale war in West Asia. US may be dragged into it, there'd be a lot of consequences. Therefore, C is the correct answer. The world has to pay has not been mentioned. Okay. The region there will be military stability, instability. Answer is C. All right. Question 2. A quote has been given from the passage, and you are supposed to see which option logically follows. That means what can be inferred or concluded from the passage. If Iran carried out such an attack in response to an Israeli strike on its embassy in a third country, it is unlikely to ignore a direct Israeli attack on its capital that killed an ally who was in Tehran to attend the presidential election. So it's talking about what is it doing? What can you infer or conclude from the statement? If Iran carried out such an attack in response to an Israel had struck the Iranian embassy in Damascus and Iran had retaliated. If Iran carries out such an attack in response to an Israeli attack on its embassy in a third country, right? It is unlikely to ignore a direct attack on its capital. Here, Israel has actually killed two people on Iranian soil in Tehran. So it cannot ignore. It's not likely to ignore, right? It's likely to retaliate. That's what the author is saying. So which ones can you infer, and what option can you not infer? Except means which option can you not infer? Iran attacked Israel on the soil of a third country. Who attacked whom? Israel attacked the Iranian embassy situated in Damascus. What is the passage saying? Iran attacked Israel. So this cannot be inferred. It played with the word. Who attacked whom? Israel attacked the Iranian embassy in Damascus, and then Iran had reacted. Now it is attacking Iran in Iran by killing people in Iran. So how will it react? Therefore, Iran is very likely to retaliate against Israel. We can infer this from the passage. Israel killed Iran's ally when he was in Tehran for an event. Yes, they had come for the presidential inauguration when the Hezbollah commander was killed and even the Hamas leader. Israel must be prepared for retaliatory action from Iran. So B, C, and D can be inferred, A cannot be inferred. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Question 3. Got it? Okay. How does the author substantiate his argument that Iran will retaliate against Israel's recent attack? The author has somehow made it very clear to us that Iran will definitely attack against uh, Israel, retaliate against Israel. How has he substantiated? How has he justified that Iran's not going to sit down, Iran's not going to keep quiet, is definitely going to attack? By citing historical precedent where Iran retaliated strongly, by emphasizing the severity. Is it historical precedent? Does he cite an incident? Yes, he does. He talks about Israel's attack on the Iranian embassy in Damascus, correct? So he has cited historical precedent where, and he talked about how Iran retaliated after. Okay, how it retaliated to Israel's attack. So he has done this, yes, by emphasizing the severity of the recent attacks on its ally. Has he said that the severity of the recent attack is so bad, it has done something really flagrant violation of Iran's security, so Iran will definitely retaliate? He has mentioned that it's a flagrant violation of Iran's security, but hasn't cited as the main reason why Iran will retaliate. By highlighting the current high level tensions between Iran and Israel, he has done that, but that he has not mentioned as a reason, or in his argument, he has not given that as a reason for Iran retaliating. He says Iran have a history of retaliation, a history of conflict. When Israel attacked the Iranian embassy in Damascus, Iran had retaliated, so they're not going to keep quiet this time. So the answer is he's substantiating it by giving us a historical example or precedent. All right, he has discussed the implications, but he for regional stability, but that is not given to justify that Iran will retaliate. So the correct answer is A. The other options have been mentioned in the passage, but they are not relevant to the question asked, right? I've lost your chat. Let me just go back. All right. Question 4. What does the author assume? So this is a CR question. What is the assumption? What is the underlying belief that the author has when making this following claim? What is the basis of this claim? That's what we've been asked. That's what an assumption does. Israel has claimed the strike on Beirut that killed Shukr, but has neither confirmed nor denied its role in the assassination of Haniyeh, a standard approach about its operations inside Iraq. It talked about two situations. Two people were killed. Israel claimed responsibility for one killing, but neither confirmed nor denied its role for the other. And the author says that this is the standard approach. This is the standard way it operates inside Iran. Israel is involved. So, what can is the author assuming? Israel is involved in both incidents, despite its silence on the latter. He has just said it, this is Israel's normal strategy, but that does not imply or assume Israel's involvement. Israel uses strategic ambiguity in its covert actions as a standard operation. So, especially in Iran. So we can assume he's assuming that this strategic ambiguity is a part of Israel's standard in Iran, and we are now, because it's an assumption, we generalized it that it uses such operational procedures. Therefore, B is the correct answer. Israel uses this strategic approach in all its conflicts, but more so in Iran, we do not know. All right. Israel's strategic ambiguity is an approach it uses solely for Iran. Again, we don't know if it uses it solely for Iran. This is its a standard approach it takes in Iran. It is part of its standard approach. That we can say, but we do not know whether it is only for Iran or not. Okay? It may be using it for other countries as well as Iran. Therefore, the correct answer is B. Which of the following is the author most likely to disagree with? The unchecked militarism of Israel could be counterproductive. The author says that this kind of unchecked militarism, aggression of Netanyahu, which in other words is Israel, could be counterproductive, could work against Israel. Israel's military actions have heightened the tensions, have increased the tensions in West Asia, can be inferred. The US could become involved in a direct conflict. Yes, Israel wants that also, he says. The US should take a firm stand against Israel's unilateral move. He says the US and its allies should first ensure that Israel impact on Israel is minimal. So he has not said that firm stand against Israel. He said we should make new rules so Israel doesn't again end up heightening tensions, which is not the same as taking a firm stand. All right. All right. Now, because the passage had lot of phrases, I hope you'll read and find out the meanings of all of them. Uh, I've given you some phrases, idioms and phrases related to war. Okay, let's see how many of you answer it. What does the expression to bite the bullet mean? Literally bite the bullet and swallow it, commit suicide, or do something unpleasant? What is the meaning of to bite the bullet? To bite the bullet means to force yourself to do something unpleasant, or it also means to be brave in a difficult situation. All right. Okay. Next one. To shoot from the hip. This is also a word, a war word phrase. Phrase. To shoot from the hip. What does it mean? To be very good at shooting, to be very accurate at shooting? No, it means to react suddenly, right? It means to not think before one says something. That is called to shoot from the hip. An automatic thing that you do, something which is impulsive. All right. What does to be a straight shooter means? I am a straight shooter. Means I'm very frank. I do not beat around the bush. So a straight shooter is somebody who's forthright, who is uh, very honest, and some also means somebody who doesn't mince words, says things as they are. Okay, you may like it, you may not like it. I'm sorry, but say it as you want. That also means I'm a straight shooter. All right. What does the idiom to bury the hatchet mean? To bury the hatchet means it's a red Indian. Even they say in olden days, tribes did that. When they made peace, they said, okay, we are not going to use the arms anymore. So they used to bury the arms, put them underground and cover them up, saying, we don't have any use for it. So to bury the hatchet means to make peace, to end a quarrel, and to become friendly. All right? All right. Okay. If you raise the white flag, what does it mean? Indication of war, indication of surrender. What does it mean? Indication that a treaty has been signed. What does the expression to raise the white flag mean? To raise the white flag means to indicate any of these: surrender, defeat, or submission. All right, where you raise the white flag and say, don't attack, I give up. All right. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the session. Before we end the session, there are a lot of big events coming up. Today, as we are talking, it's happening right now. Of course, it's a lunch break. Our first session of Race to 99 Percentile is over. If you haven't joined or registered, do register now and attend it. The second session would be on data interpretation today. Tomorrow again we have a full day, quant and verbal ability, VARC, quant, and also some talk about how you should plan your preparation for CAT. All right. So if you haven't attended yet, make sure you attend. We also have the part one of which B skill to apply. We have Gautam Baba and Sajil Shah who will be taking you through, guiding you about B school applications. This is on 13th August at 8:30 p.m. 100 days to CAT 2024. Again, a good session on what you should do, what you should have prepared by now, what you should do for the next 100 days. 16th August, 8:30 p.m. Do ensure you attend that so that your preparation goes according to plan. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we will end the session. Any questions? Any doubts? All right. See you again next Saturday at 1 p.m. with one more editorial and some more must do questions for CAT. We'll do main point questions, inference and conclusion questions, strengthen and weaken questions, direct questions, imply, suggest questions, all kinds of questions. Okay, that regularly appear in CAT. All right. I will see you then. Bye bye.